Hey YouTube, I hope you guys are all doing well today. It's Adrian Hunter from over here at Pipedreamhookah, and today I have a bowl packing tutorial for you guys. Today's tutorial is going to be on how to pack Fakher into a modern style funnel bowl. Now, the reason I'm bringing you this bowl packing tutorial today is because I was just sitting here editing some video and I was finishing that up, and I began the process of writing out some reviews for you guys. And these are going to be reviews on Fakher flavors. Now, I actually want to bring you guys a review on every single Fakher flavor on the market, and this is actually going to take some time, obviously, because they've been around for a very long time. They're one of the oldest brands of modern style shisha tobaccos, and they have a very extensive line of flavors. So it is obviously going to take a while to get through all of the different flavors for you guys. Now, a lot of these flavors that I'm going to be reviewing have already been reviewed by other YouTubers, but as of late I haven't seen a whole lot of Fakher reviews going up on YouTube, which is kind of strange as there's always new hookah smokers coming in to the community, entering the market, and they want to see what's going on. They want to go on YouTube and check out these flavors before they commit to actually purchasing them. And all the reviews are kind of old. They're like 3, 4, 5 years old now. So I just want to kind of pump out a bunch of like 5 or 6 minute Fakher reviews for you guys, but I don't want to actually go through the same bowl packing process on every single review like I have done in the past, because there are so many different flavors. So it's going to be a little bit tedious, and I imagine it's going to be a little bit boring to watch me do the packing method in every single video. So I just cut actually it should be released by this point, the how to pack Fakher into an Egyptian bowl, an Egyptian red clay bowl, and that should already be out by the time I upload this video. So what I want to go ahead and do is show you how to pack it into a funnel bowl as well, so when I actually cut these Fakher reviews, you guys have some content to go look at if you have any questions about how I pack the bowl and the flavor that I'll be reviewing. So I'm going to go ahead and cut over to the packing tutorial itself, and then when I'm done showing you guys how I pack the bowl, I'll go ahead and bring you guys back over here so I can show you how it smokes and everything. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm not going to waste any time here. Let's go ahead and dive right into the packing method, starting with the materials needed to actually execute on this pack. We're going to start with the tobacco that we'll be using today, which is going to be some Fakher cinnamon and some Fakher cream with mint, or mint with cream. I'm not sure what order that's in. That's going to be mint with cream. The bowl we're going to be using today is HookahJohns 80 feet bowl. This is going to be the 80 feet bowl that was released right before the first batch of 80 feet 80s came out. So I'm not sure which generation that is, but to give you an idea of the timeline on what generation this 80 feet bowl is, that's when it came out. As with most of my packing videos, we're going to be using a foil poker, and we're going to be using an oyster fork just to stir the tobacco up and to portion it out. I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. And just so we can avoid making a huge mess out of my table here, I'm going to go ahead and use a cutting board. And then obviously we're going to be using foil, but that's going to be a little bit later, so we'll get back to that in a few moments. So to start, we'll just go ahead and open our first package of Fakher. This is going to be the mint with cream. And we're just going to mix it up to get the juices flowing so all the tobacco is nice and evenly coated with the molasses and glycerin. And we're going to go ahead and portion it out into this bowl, kind of roughly. It's going to get dumped back out, so you don't have to worry too much about making sure you get it perfect, because we're going to go back and make sure we got it perfect a little bit later. So let's see if I can show you how you do this. We just take the bowl, grab some tobacco, and I'm going to do a 50-50 pack. So I'm just literally filling it around like that. Keep on going. And I think that's arguably about 50% of the bowl, probably a little bit more, but that is okay. And then do the same thing with your Fakher cinnamon, or whatever Fakher flavors you're using. This will work for a straight Fakher flavor, this will work for a half and half mix like I'm doing today. You can mix 3 flavors, you can mix 75 flavors, it doesn't really matter as long as you make sure you get the portioning correct and you follow the steps. It won't really matter whether you're mixing or not. Once you get your cinnamon or whatever you're packing nice and mixed up, do the same thing. Just kind of roughly put it into the funnel, like so. That's a little bit much. That's actually probably pretty close to correct right there. So that's what we have right now, just to portion it out and make sure we have the right amount of tobacco. Now, we can go ahead and get rid of the tobacco so we have more room to work with. And let's go ahead and utilize our cutting board. I'm just going to dump all the Fakher out onto the cutting board. And I'm going to get a little bit messy because we're going to start playing with our hands now. Just go ahead and mix the Fakher up together. I find that Fakher performs the best when you actually mix it up instead of packing it into the bowl with all the flavors side by side or in a layer pack. In my experience, Fakher's flavors just seem to smoke very, very well when you pre-mix them before actually loading them into your bowl. A lot of you already know this about Fakher, but it's very sticky, so you might have to do this for a minute or two just to make sure it gets all nice and evenly distributed between the two flavors that I'm using today. There we go. Now we got something that looks like that. And we are going to lose a little bit of molasses and glycerin in the process, and that is actually okay because we don't want the tobacco to be touching the foil. So the fact that we're losing a little bit of mass when we mix it up like this is kind of going to be a good thing. As you saw just a minute ago, I had the bowl pretty much packed up to the rim. Now this next part is very simple. If you're familiar with a fluff pack, just take the bowl in whatever hand it's comfortable with. Keep mixing this up so it's nice and loose, or as loose as Fakher's going to get, and then just kind of fluff it evenly into the bowl. Try to get it to come just a little bit above the rim, not too far, just like a hair above the rim. Fakher, a lot of people tend to think Fakher's idiot proof, and there's an argument for that, but I have messed up bowls of Fakher, and it's easy to do if you don't know what you're doing. I will take a second to say that there is more than one way to pack your Fakher into a funnel bowl. You can actually just go ahead and use an oyster fork if you're feeling lazy. You can pack it side by side. It's going to perform just fine. But this is what I think is going to be the optimum way to get this tobacco to perform, and that's why I'm showing it to you here today. And as you can see now, we got that murder hand situation that I was talking about before. Looks like I just gutted someone or something. It's really messy, so we're going to go ahead and clean that off. Alright, let's go ahead and get rid of this tray. It's kind of an eyesore right now because I'm going to show you the final couple steps to getting this bowl packed just correctly. So as you can see, it's coming above the rim, and like I said, any foil contact is going to scorch this tobacco. And you know what else is going to cause you to have an awful session? If this tobacco is packed down too densely. There's a little trick, and it involves our foil poker. Instead of actually pressing the tobacco down beneath the rim and causing a lot of density in the bowl, what you can do is just kind of rearrange the tobacco really kind of gently. Just kind of filling in the air gap, but without creating too much density. You just go around the bowl and do that all the way around. And I start from the outside of the rim and I just work my way into the spire. So let's just go ahead and do that really quick. And here we go. This is what they call a normal pack. It's just a little bit dense than a semi-dense, but it is a little bit more dense than a regular fluff pack. And as you can see, it's underpacked by a little bit to avoid any foil contact, and it looks nice and consistent. And there's still some room for air to kind of flow freely through the tobacco, but it's not wide open like a traditional fluff pack. Before we foil it, let's go ahead and wipe the rim down so there's no play to the foil when we're poking holes. There we go. And last but not least, let's go ahead and foil our bowl. As always, with any modern style funnel bowl, we're going to be using one layer of heavy duty foil, shiny side facing downwards, and we're going to drum tight it around the rim like so. Alright, so I actually want to use this little mistake I made to make a point really quick. I've been seeing online that people get a little bit worked up about drum tightening their foil because it doesn't look perfect. And while you should always strive to get it to look as perfect as possible, something like this is going to smoke just fine, you guys. There's still plenty of tension, and it still has some bounce back when you hit it. So it's not going to cause foil drag, you know, it's not going to get caught over the spire, and the foil should not come down and touch the tobacco. So if your foil ends up looking something like this, don't worry about it. Don't take the foil off and start over. You're wasting your time. This is going to smoke just fine. And then we're just going to go ahead and poke a 3-ring hole pattern starting from the outside of the rim, moving our way in towards the spire. There we go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here's the final product. Let's go see how it smokes. Okay, so that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for the packing method. Now I'd just like to take a minute to show you guys the cloud output and go over how the flavor profile is coming across with this pack and all that good stuff. So first, let's take a look at the setup. I don't know if you can see it back there, but I'm smoking on my Aviator by Art Hookah with an Egyptian bell base at the bottom. The hookah is actually set up at half a tight, only utilizing one stem piece. As you guys saw in the packing video, I'm using the 80 feet bowl, and on top I'm testing out these golden desert coals, and there is going to be a review on those coming soon, and I'm pretty sure that Matt Deasand is also dropping a review on those coals, so be on the lookout for that one as well. All that said, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple clouds really quick. So yeah, good clouds. I'm not really reviewing Fakher right now, but obviously this packing method is going to yield really good cloud output, so that's something to look forward to. Now as far as the flavor profile goes, this obviously isn't a review on the mix that I'm cutting today, and it's not going to be a review on Fakher's flavors in general, but when you pack it this way at a 50-50 pack into the modern style funnel bowl, that's going to be the 80 feet bowl, both the flavors are going to come across really well. I'm tasting the cinnamon notes, and I'm also getting that really nice creamy mint as well. So the flavor profile is just outstanding. Now, if any of you already watched my video on how to pack it into a red clay Egyptian bowl, you might be asking yourselves, okay, so why didn't you dry and cut up the shisha tobacco for the funnel bowl packing tutorial? And the reason for that is because of how a funnel bowl actually smokes. Instead of drawing air straight down through the shisha tobacco like you do with a red clay Egyptian bowl, because the holes are actually at the bottom, the funnel bowl is obviously going to have this spire. So the heat kind of comes down into the tobacco and then works its way back through the spire. So it's not going to matter if your tobacco is a little more wet, because you're not really going to get any dripping of the molasses down the downstem due to the fact that the spire is so high, so there's really no way for the molasses to actually get in there. And I didn't cut it up just because these funnel bowls tend to be a little bit more forgiving when it comes to airflow. You don't so much need to worry about how consistently cut your tobacco is when you're utilizing a funnel bowl as opposed to a red clay Egyptian bowl. Okay, so now that this packing tutorial is out of the way, and you guys know how I pack my Fakher in both the red clay bowl and the funnel bowls, I can go ahead and start dropping some of these Fakher flavor reviews for you. I'm going to be doing these fairly regularly, probably once every 2 weeks, so like twice a month, and I'm just going to keep going until I run out of flavors to review. I probably will end up running out of flavors because Fakher, they are one of the biggest brands in the industry, and they don't really have any need to innovate. I'm sure if you're an avid smoker, I'm sure you've noticed that Fakher hasn't come out with anything new in quite a long while, and they're probably not going to. They very rarely come out with new products, and that's just because they're so consistent and everyone knows the brand that they don't need to. They just buy what they know and they smoke it, and it's always good. But yeah, be on the lookout for those Fakher reviews that are coming to you guys. And I have a few collaboration videos in the works as well, so you guys do have those to look forward to. And I think that's just about gonna wrap this video up. So as always, if you feel that this video brought you guys any type of value whatsoever, you should consider subscribing, because I will be pumping out a lot more content just like this in the future for you guys. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you have any comments or criticisms, go ahead and drop those down in the comments box below. And if you have any requests for any reviews, you can go ahead and drop those down below as well. I'd be happy to bring you guys reviews on any products that you'd be interested in knowing a little bit more about before you commit to a purchase. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go through every Fakher flavor like I said. So some of those might be way down the line because of the way my schedule works. So if you guys have any that you're super interested in, go ahead and request those, and I'll push them further forward into my schedule. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, happy smoking.